Americans are furious about what is taking place, about the crime that is surging, about thefts, and about deaths. This is turning into a massive crisis, but yet we are not hearing anything from the Biden administration about fixing this huge issue. Now, what's happening at this time is cities are being overrun. Gangs are now being established in large cities and in suburbs as well. Millions of people are concerned with their safety here in the United States. Now, I want to break down what is going on and what just happened recently and how this is now pretty much sitting center stage for this immigration debate, but also this election of 2024. So I'm going to break down all that in today's video. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So why are Americans so upset? Well, they're upset because we continue to see this crime surge. There's thefts, there's assaults, there's murders. This is turning into a bigger crisis than what we originally anticipated. But it's happening because we are now starting to see more and more immigrants enter into the United States. I want to be very clear on something. It is fine that we have immigration. It's fine that people are coming over from other countries when they're doing it legally. And the reason for this process and why the numbers are so low, according to Democrats, Republicans say the numbers are pretty high, but according to Democrats, they say the immigration numbers are so low, legal immigration numbers, because we don't have enough resources. They need more money from Republicans and from businesses and from taxpayers, but they're not receiving it. Well, here's what happened the other day. It says the killing of the Georgia nursing student is now at the center stage of the U.S. immigration debate. Why? Well, if you don't know what happened, here's what just happened recently, okay? Just to give you an idea. Laken Riley, right? Laken Riley was a 22-year-old, keyword was, a 22-year-old nursing student, and she was out on her morning run at the University of Georgia when authorities say a stranger drug her into a secluded area and took her life. Now, that right there sent pretty much the United States into a little bit of a frenzy. You look around on social media, look around on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, anywhere, X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and people are upset. Americans are furious as to why are we seeing this at this time? Well, guess what former President Donald Trump says? He is blaming President Biden's border invasion for what happened to Laken Riley. And he is vowing for the largest deportation operation if he's elected. Here's what I think is disturbing, and I even highlighted it. It says ICE confirms the murder suspect is an illegal immigrant who was previously arrested in New York City. Weren't we just talking about this the other day, where we were saying that, how far would the deportation operation go? How far? Well, this is what some people had to say. They said, if you physically hurt somebody, should you be deported? Yes. And answer these aren't my answers. This is from somebody on X. It says, what about a parking ticket or moving violation? Should you be deported? No. What if you have unpaid child support? Yes. Now, whether or not that's a good idea, if you have unpaid child support yet you can work in the United States, because technically you're illegal, that's up for debate. But how do those children receive any type of support if you're not here in the U.S.? And then what if you are charged with theft? Should you be deported? They say yes. Here's the thing, though. How far would former President Donald Trump's deportation event actually go? Well, some say he would deport everybody that is not white. Well, let's look at this. It says Trump's deportation plan is modeled on inhumane 1950s program, according to experts. This is actually an article from the Washington Post. Now, we're not get into that, but the thing here is, how far is this going to go? Well, I want to show you something. Okay. The reason I want to show you this is actually pretty simple. Well, We're going to show you this in just a minute. But here's the thing. Many people are upset because, we've seen certain people lose their life. President Biden comes out and he is on it. He's talking about we can't have this and we can't have that. We need to take away guns. We need to take away some of these rights. But for people that are coming into the United States illegally and something like this, taking the life of a 22-year-old college student who's just out on a morning run, where does this stop? Right? Where does this stop? I want to read you this from Charlie Kirk. He says, "Say her name, CNN. Her name is Laken Riley, and she was murdered by an illegal partly because outlets like yours refuse to be honest about how deadly Joe Biden's invasion has become. This is utter trash." Now, how deadly is this invasion? Well, here's the problem, and I brought this up multiple times. The concern right now is that there's too many people entering into the United States. We do not have enough resources. So not only are the legal immigrants going to have to fight for food and shelter and water and a job, but now there's a high likelihood that citizens are going to have to fend off those people from taking their food, their water, their shelter, or their job. How concerning is that? That we are now potentially going to have to pretty much be at war with one another just to keep what we've fought for, keep what we've earned and been able to buy ourselves. That's concerning. I want to show you this though. Representative Katie Porter. She says the murder of a Georgia student by illegal immigrants shouldn't shape immigration policy. Says the suspect in Laken Riley's murder case is an illegal immigrant from Venezuela. So she is saying that we should not shape the immigration policy based off this one thing. But yet others are saying, didn't we change things when stuff happened to George Floyd? Don't we change laws when something happens to an airplane, right? Or an airplane is hijacked? Now, I'm not saying this is the exact same thing, okay? They're all different. But this is what people are saying. And someone else on X said, isn't this exactly what happens when we see a shooting in a movie theater? Somebody else wrote, yes, and this is exactly what happens when there's a shooting at a nightclub for LGBTQ members. So where does this stop? That's the concern. But here's the thing, and this is where many people are pretty much debating. Whose method is right? Whose plan is going to work? Is President Biden's plan, his current open border policy, is that working? Many Democrats and Republicans say no. Many Democrats do not come out and support what he's doing, but at the same time, they don't say that they go up against it. But then you got former President Donald Trump that's taking a complete opposite approach and is going to deport everybody. There has to be some mix. There has to be some middle ground. At least that's what experts are saying. All I can tell you right now is Americans are highly concerned. Millions are furious about what is happening. And yet there's not much we can do about it. We're just going to sit back and wait, see what kind of numbers roll in, and see who wins the next election. All I can tell you right now is I'll be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in with all the latest news and updates, whatever we're getting from both sides. Because as of right now, this is a massive crisis that nobody has a solution for. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is, again, I will be here every step of the way and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing and I'll see you guys on the next one.